Saying no to someone can be really challenging, especially if it's saying no to an opportunity that sounds really great or saying no to a friend of yours who is asking you for a favor. So today we're going to talk about when we should say no. Hi, my name is Marta and welcome to Imperfect Life Balance. On my channel, we talk about topics related to life balance, such as personal development, mindset, productivity, time management, and any tips on how to be more efficient and effective so we can spend more time doing the things that we actually love to do. So let's get on to our topic today, which is when we should say no to things. I know myself that I tend to be a people pleaser, so it is a hard concept for me to get that I should be saying no more often. So it's definitely a learning process for me as well. But when I thought about the situations when I have said no, I started to see trends. So today I'm going to share with you 10 types of situations when we should start saying no. So number one is saying no to opportunities or favors that somebody is asking of you that do not align with your priorities. So I have a whole video that I have made on goal setting and priorities, so I'm gonna link it up here in case you're interested. But we all have our priorities we set for ourselves, whether that is on a quarterly basis or every 6 months. And if we want to work on those priorities and accomplish the goals that we have set for ourselves, we have to stay focused and not get distracted by opportunities or people asking us for favors that are going to take the time away from what we want to accomplish and delay our progress. So anytime you are presented an opportunity or anytime somebody is asking a favor of you, one of the first questions you have to ask yourself is, does it align with the priorities I have for myself? Because if it does not, then go ahead and say no. Because if you keep saying yes to things that are not aligned with what you are trying to accomplish, you're going to accomplish the priorities of other people, but not your own. The second type of situation is when you already have a lot on your plate. So this should be pretty self-explanatory, but I think we as women tend to pile things up on our plate, thinking, oh, it's just a small favor, or I can squeeze it in somehow. And then what is happening is we end up with a broken plate. So in other words, we are gonna get burned out eventually. If you are not sure if your plate is full or reaching its capacity, make sure you are subscribed and have your notification bell on, because next week I'm gonna talk exactly about this topic. The third type of thing that you should say no to is when you have this feeling inside that you should say no. Maybe it's an opportunity that's being presented to you career-wise or something related to your side business, and you just have this gut feeling that something is not right. Something doesn't sit well with you. There is nothing that you can really pinpoint what is wrong, but you just have this gut feeling that something is not right. Say no. Always trust your instinct. The next situation where you should say no is when the only reason you want to say yes is because you feel like you should. So that is something that you can find examples of pretty much anywhere in your life, whether that is your career, whether that is your side business, whether that is your personal life. There are just situations when somebody is asking you to volunteer for an event that you really don't want to do, or maybe somebody at work is asking you to work on a project that you don't have any interest in, but you just feel obligated because it's your friend asking you or because it's your coworker asking you to do it, but you don't really want to do it. So in those situations, you're going to have to learn to say no. And I think this is one of the ones we are struggling with a lot just because of those personal relationships we have developed. And it's just hard to say no to somebody that you know, somebody that you like. But in those situations, we really have to start thinking about ourselves and what we want to accomplish, because anytime we keep saying yes to other people, we are usually saying no to ourselves. Which brings me to the next type of situation, which is when saying yes to something means that we are saying no to our self-care. I think this is a case specifically for a lot of moms. We tend to put ourselves very last on the list. We will take care of our families, our jobs, our side business, and taking care of ourselves is usually on the very bottom of the list. And this is where you're gonna see those types of situations when you get asked a little favor from a friend, or to do something extra at work, and you keep on saying yes to those little things because you're thinking, well, I didn't really have anything scheduled. It was just, some me time. I can always do it some other day. And if we get into a habit of doing that, postponing our self-care, our me time, we are gonna get, again, burned out. Our mental health is going to suffer. So if this is the area where you are struggling with, I would suggest scheduling an appointment on a calendar for me time. That way, if somebody is asking you for a favor or to participate in something, you have it booked on a calendar that you are busy at that time. And, they don't have to know that it's a me time if you don't want to share that. But make sure you take care of yourself before you say yes to other people. Another type of situation where you should start to say no is when you know from experience that the yes you are saying is gonna evolve. What I mean by that is maybe the favor or the opportunity involves just a little work, but you know from experience that that is likely to turn into something much bigger. Maybe the friend that is asking for a favor has a tendency to ask for a small favor that just kind of, keeps on adding on as the time goes by. Or maybe it's a coworker at work who is asking you to help her on a project, but you know that every time you have done it in the past, it turned out to be a huge time commitment. So be aware of those situations, and if you got burned once, it's time to learn and say no. Another type of situation where you should start saying no to is a situation where saying yes means that you're gonna have to say no to your family. So maybe it is somebody asking you to lead a charity event, and you know it's gonna take a lot of work. However, you know that this is for a good cause, that you're gonna be helping a lot of people. But at the same time, you know that your time with your family has been very limited lately due to some other commitments, and you really would like to dedicate that time to spend quality time with your family. In this particular situation, I feel like it's very difficult because you are choosing between quality time with your family or helping a community. But what we really have to start thinking about is that this particular charity event is not the only way for us to do something good for a community. Because if you are in a situation like that, what you would much prefer to spend that quality time with your family, then maybe you can find some volunteer opportunity for your whole family. So you can spend the quality time together and at the same time do something good for a community. So I think in those situations, we really have to start getting creative. Don't just say yes because you know it's gonna help somebody, because there is more than one way of doing things. Another type of a situation where we should be saying no to is if there is an opportunity that is being presented to us, or maybe even a favor that is being asked of us, but we are not clear on the details of what is actually going to be involved with that. So maybe it is an opportunity that is being presented to us for our side business. And it sounds like a good opportunity, but we don't have all the details that we feel we need. Or maybe it's a favor from a friend, but again, it's not being very specific. And in those situations, we have to learn to say no, at least until we get all the details so we can get an informed decision. So don't say yes just because it looks good on the surface. Make sure you know all the details before you commit time to something that you don't really know what it involves. Number 9 is a situation where it goes against our values. I think this is mostly the type of thing that will be happening at work or at your side business, where you are presented with an opportunity that you know is going to help your career, or you know it's going to help your side business, but it doesn't really align with the values that you have. And in those situations, we definitely should say no, because in the end, if it doesn't align with what we believe, then it really is not worth it, because it might grow our business, it might move us in our career, but it's going to be the wrong kind of growth. And I can guarantee you that you are going to regret saying yes to such an opportunity. And lastly, the situation where you should say no to is any time that you simply don't feel like it. You don't have to have any elaborate reasons behind it. If there is an opportunity or a favor that is being asked of you and you simply don't feel like doing it, just say no. You have that right. I know it's hard to comprehend. I know for me it is, but If somebody is asking you whether or not you want to participate in something, I think it's implied that you do have a choice. So make sure that it's something that you simply don't want to do, just say no. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If there are any additional things that you think we should be saying no to, make sure you comment down below. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. And as always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.